Right, you're good to go, Matt.
All right. Well, they're figuring a few things out. So, welcome everybody. Thanks for coming. As mentioned, my name is Matthew. No relation to that guy. He's better looking. So I'll go by Matthew just to avoid any kind of confusion. As mentioned, I'm with SolidWorks. I'm in what's called our user advocacy group. So we take care of we bring your voice into the company. We focus. We don't filter, but we kind of amplify your voice, and so that the people who are designing the software, making business decisions, what matters to our users. I'm your ears. I'll be your voice into the company. My actual role is to take care of the digital communities. And up on the screen, we just have some QR codes if you want to join, so how to keep in touch with us. So I take care of, we have our own social collab platform called 3D Swim, which is inside the 3D Experience platform. But at the same time, we're also connecting with users around the world through other different platforms, because users, we go where our users are at. We're here in San Francisco tonight. Again, thanks for coming out for this great IronSWUG tour on the West Coast. But we're on LinkedIn. We have a LinkedIn group. We're on WhatsApp, chatting there as well. Playing around also with Discord. So that's kind of new to us. I'm a Discord newbie, but we're really trying to get involved there and meet our users where they're at. So. And also we have, if I go to this other tab, if this works.
You're flipping around a little bit, but it's all good.
Yep, there we go. So recently for the SolidWorks user group network, we recently switched over to a platform that's, well, I guess we could say Bevy, right? So yeah, it's hosted by Bevy, and that's where kind of like where they're hosting the meetings, they're pushing all the information. So connect with Ian's group, and you can find all these other different groups and find out what's happening in the world through this one centralized platform for the different SWUG and the SolidWorks user group network meetings that are happening around the world. So there's QR codes there. If you're missing any QR codes, you want to get them from me later, just let me know. And I'm going to get out of the way of the real experts because I'm a SolidWorks dummy. But again, thank you everyone for showing up tonight.
This is IronSWUG 2025. We are kicking this off in San Francisco with you guys. So again, as everybody said, thank you for hosting us and allowing us to come out and talk with you and just, mull over some SolidWorks stuff and just some cool things that are out there, right? And this presentation we're going to get into today is a little bit different than what we've done ever, right? So hopefully you guys enjoy it. It's just a good, fun way to kick off the whole week. This one today is going to be XDesign on your phone. Who here has heard of XDesign? Anybody? A few people? It's not a native thing that a lot of people are using right now, but it is a pretty cool tool. And I just want to kind of have some fun with it and let you guys see how it works. And a lot of people really haven't even got to touch it yet. So most all our presentations throughout this week are all based on SolidWorks and stuff. So I figured I'd throw something a little bit different out there because it's still a Dassault product. But the idea is XDesign on your phone. Can you do it? Not me. Not can I do it. Can you do it? Right? So that's what we're going to do in this presentation. All right, so who am I? My name is Adam Ebernickel. I'm a project designer in the product engineering department of Altec Industries. So that truck up there at the top, that's what we do. We do bucket trucks, utility equipment, tree care, digger derricks. So you drill the power line in and then you place it. That's a lot of what we do, is just a lot of industrial utility equipment. Now, aside from that, I've been with Altec for over 10 years, going on 12, I guess now. And I've been doing the adjunct in the applied engineering department at Malin Community College, just about next door, 5 minutes from where Altec facility is in Burnsville, North Carolina. I've been doing that for almost as long as I've been at Altec. Just love teaching and giving back. Alongside that, leader for the Western North Carolina Asheville SolidWorks user group. So that's probably again right along with that time I started Altec. All this kind of came into play, and then about when COVID hit, about 2020, I became the SWUG and committee member for the Southeast region of the U.S. So that's Mississippi, Tennessee, down through the Caribbean. And then shortly after that, we brought a bunch of SWUG groups into Altec. We've got 11 groups within Altec. So I manage those as well. SolidWorks champion. If you don't, here's Matt Clegg's shout out. If you don't know what the SolidWorks Champions program is, please look it up. Go to Google and just look up SolidWorks Champions. About April timeframe every year, they do a enrollment for that. It's good to have a mentor, so reach out to Brad and I. We can help mentor you through that. Good, thank you. There we go. Now we're cooking in some butter.
It's working now. There we go.
Okay.
Good.
All right. So again, certified, or sorry, SolidWorks champion. Yeah. So check that out. Go to Google. April timeframe. They do an enlisting for that or membership enrollment. You usually have to have a mentor. Brad and I, we don't care to mentor you guys if that's something you need or want to do. It's a little bit more of giving back, kind of like the SWUG community, but more on an individual basis. And you do have to have a CSWP to be into that, I guess, group, I guess. Certified SolidWorks expert, did that along the way as well. But getting into some key takeaways with this presentation. So the first one is, design anytime, anywhere, right? That's going to be the first key thing. The next one is from swipe to sketch. So just being able to swipe your finger on a mobile device, a tablet or whatever, be sitting on a plane, and we'll get into some of this later, and being able to do something real quick that you need to do and get out real quick. So it makes it real nice for that. And then of course, because of that, it makes a desk even optional, right? So let's go. I think my screen's got it set up backwards. I cannot get to that screen now. There it is. One second. Okay. So what is XDesign, right? So XDesign is a cloud-based 3D CAD software for those that have not heard of it. Basically, you can access it anytime, anywhere from a browser or a mobile device. So it's pretty easy to get to. It is a XDesign. It's an app. It's what a lot of people are calling on cloud-based softwares now. It's basically an app inside of their platform. It's a 3D creator role. So they have different roles within the platform. You have different tenants. And the best way I like to look at it is a tenant is kind of like your business, right? Or maybe a filing cabinet. And so you have that tenant, and then the roles would be those, or different roles would be like files or drawers within that filing cabinet that you would assign to certain associates that you have on the platform. But so it's through that 3D creator role that you can access the XDesign. But it does also have some other additional X apps on the platform as well. Just thought I'd throw them out there so you know. X-Shape, which is subdivision modeling, X-Mold for mold tools and stuff. You got X-Frame for weldment and structures. Then you have X-Sheet Metal for sheet metal parts and some flat patterns and different things like that. So there's a lot of different X apps out there you can look at and utilize that are all web-based. One thing a lot of new companies like about the platform is because everything is cloud-based. You don't have to worry about spending $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 on a PC or computer for somebody. You can get them just a basic notebook and run everything from that and let the cloud do all the heavy lifting, right? So it reduces some IT stuff there too, as well. So just a thought, just to think about. But first, let's go ahead and talk about a few things that you guys are going to see. Hopefully everybody participates. If not, that's fine too. But let's go ahead and talk about a few things that you're going to see in the app on your phone here in a minute. So on the right-hand side, when you start looking at it, you're going to see this little menu. And this is important because when you're using a mobile device or a touchscreen device, this is going to be shown. Now, if you're on a computer, you can actually go down and click it and tell it to come on, and then it will show it in case you have like a touchscreen computer or something. But let's start with the first one. So the first one's going to be your shortcut menu. Everybody know what the S key is, hopefully? People know what the S key is on SolidWorks? S key is a very powerful tool. If you hit the S key while you're designing, it'll bring out a shortcut menu. I always like to say reduce your mouse miles, right? Don't sit there and spend lots of time chasing for commands and features. Put them at your mouse. It's going to save so much time. You're not running miles and miles a day with your mouse. You're able to locate them right there where you're at and where you need them. And the S key does that for you. Now, a little bit different. They have added shortcut keys to the platform and on XDesign, but this button here would be that shortcut menu like you would see the S key there. The next one's going to be lock rotation. This is very important because who's tried to design on a laptop without a mouse in SolidWorks? How fun is that? Yeah, getting some thumbs down from out there. That's right. It's horrible trying to rotate and manage the model and zoom in and zoom out. It's very cumbersome. So that lock rotation is going to be very important for you on the mobile device with the touchscreen, because then it can say, okay, do I want to rotate this? Do I want to pan this? Do I want to make it bigger and smaller? Those kind of things. All right, so the next one's going to be an offset cursor. It enables you to use the cursor while dragging your finger. And the cool thing about this is a lot of times I'll turn that off and I just want to pick with my finger and pick it, right? But there's sometimes when you get in there and you're trying to pick a point or a midpoint or maybe a small section of a line, and it's like, oh, I can't, my finger's too fat, I can't pick that daggone line, right? And so then you turn this on, you can place your finger on the screen and start to drag it, and you'll see the cursor pop up beside your finger. And then you can put that cursor point on that little point or on that little line that you guys have, and it makes it so much easier to select, right? Multi-select, so this is going to be like your control button on a computer when you're trying to hold down control and select multiple things. That's kind of what the multi-select button is going to do for you. And don't think you have to remember this through the little exercise we're going to do. We're going to walk around and help you with all this stuff. Next one's going to be reframe, so everybody remembers the F key, the shortcut key, the F key in SOLIDWORKS, which fits everything to your screen. So that's a nice one to know. Normal 2, you get into a sketch. There is a little view window up in the top right-hand corner where you can pick the sides of the cube to get those views. But if you're going into a sketch and you want to go normal 2, just click that button. It'll take you right there. The next one's going to be your exit action. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to need is for my colleague, Mr. Brad Meador. Report to the front, please. Mr. Brad Meador. Oh, did you send it to me? Okay. Is it email and a text? Okay. So what we'll do is we'll run around and let everybody scan it. So I'm going to have a QR code that Brad made us, and we're going to go in here and we're going to essentially start into this. Now I'm going to show you the first part of it so you know what you're doing when you get into this. We're all going to design this little bitty thing in XDesign, have some fun and play around for the next couple minutes, 20 minutes, I guess, and then we'll come back. I'll recap the whole thing, and then we'll turn the time over to Brad. But just getting started. So this is me from Google. This is all. So what I did here, let me pause this for just a second. What I did here, I was going to do it live in front of you guys, but everybody knows who Murphy is, right? Anybody met Murphy? Yeah, he's got a law that says what can go happen, what's wrong to, what can go wrong will go wrong. Sorry, I'll get my words lined up here in a minute. What can go wrong will go wrong. So instead of doing that, I kicked it around. I said, what I'll do is I'll just do a screen recording of me doing it. That way I can kind of get the Murphy out of it a little bit and and also so I can fill in and help you guys too. So this is what we're doing. You're going to go to Google. We've got the tenant. This part where I'm going to my bookmarks is just my normal SWUG tenant. That's that filing cabinet we was talking about. So we'll get you a tenant code to scan. When you do, you're going to put in a username and password. Okay, so for that username and password, I know I've got some reading glasses. There we go. Pause that for just one moment. Here's the QR code. And I want to give a shout out to the certification team, by the way. The certification team, in particular, Daniel Granillo, is a fellow rider. He rode with us all year last year. He's a great rider. He's very knowledgeable, especially when it comes to certifications. He wasn't able to make it this year. He was going to be here, and some things kind of came up, wasn't able to get to it due to some work obligations. But he created all these links for us, and it's not an easy task. In order to create these links for everybody to use, he had to go into Google and create Google accounts and all that stuff. So we thank Daniel Granillo a lot and the certification team because they do a lot for the SWUG community. Let me go to his link because he gave me all these passwords and stuff. All right. So username is going to be IronSWUG and then a number. And I'm going to go through and assign you guys a number real quick. You're going to be 01, so IronSWUG.
What site I go to?
Scan this right here. Scan that. That'll take you to.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah, we figured to do that to make it a little easier.
Okay, thank you.
But you're going to be, so if you see here,
Username would be
IronSWUG 01. And the password's going to be the same for everybody. It's SolidWorks, it's no spaces, capital S, SolidWorks Certification 25. SolidWorks, all singular, no plurals, capital S, SolidWorks, actually SolidWorks is plural, of course, Certification 25. But you'll be 01, 02, 03. This gentleman right here next to the Pelican cases, 04. Next to go, 05. But that's for your password. Username. Username is IronSWUG, and then the 0 number I give you. IronSWUG 0 number I give you. And it's all, username's all lowercase. Password is capital S. SolidWorks, which is SolidWorks Certification 25. I stopped with you 05, right? Okay. Let me go ahead and get everybody else real quick. 06, ma'am. 06, 07, 08, 09. Anybody else? I got everybody? And then let's see if I got a, oh yeah, I got a 10. Let's go 10 for you. So there's no 0, just 1 0. Okay, I think that's everybody's got a device out ready to go. Okay. Everybody got the usernames and passwords in there? Okay. So that's going to get you in and get you started here. And then I'll give if anybody needs any help, raise your hand. I can come over and work with you. Do you want to try this as well?
Sure.
Okay. So if you'll scan this QR code, that'll take you to the tenant. And then you'll be 11. And so when I say 11, that means right here. Your username is going to be IronSWUG11. And then your password is going to be capital S for SolidWorks Certification 25. All right.
USB-C.
Once we get to the My 3D Experience update page, what do you do next?
Yeah, fill that out. I'm assuming.
Just throw some random stuff in there?
Yeah, I think he's already started doing that. Yeah, just throw some random stuff in there. Yeah, fill up as much as it'll let you before you hit update. You good?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Okay, so we got everybody moving. I'll give everybody just a couple more minutes to get into that, and then I'll hit play on this. And we're going to go through it in sections. So what I'll do is I'll play it, and then we'll get to a certain point. And I'll kind of talk about it and say kind of what's going on there. And then, of course, you guys just following along, doing your thing along with it. So we'll just do it in some sections once we get there. All right. All right, do we have everybody in yet or almost in?
Maybe something
Post from a screen or
Does it
Like-
keep looping?
just loops?
Yeah.
I mean, it says successful. IronSWUG.
Oh,
is it not Gmail?
yeah, I bet it is Gmail. Yeah, it's going to be at Gmail.
Oh, is it making it the user interface?
I think so.
Okay.
You want to check the chat and see if Daniel's saying anything in there about it?
Yeah, it's a,
I just went to a different window and I just took the
URL and
I
pasted it.
Pasted it and it kept me at the username. So now we just need to navigate.
Just we're all stuck in that.
Does that get you to the swim page or anything?
Go to
The tenant?
one.
Yeah, the platform, see what that does for you.
again, Murphy's Law.
Yep, that's why I pre-recorded and he still bit me.
Logged into my own one. It says-
Okay, so Daniel Granillo just sent
He sent it.
another link.
But that's just a link to to that testing page.
I wonder if it's a better link for the tenant though, if he's already done something with it.
Let me try. What's the last number you did?
So that link took me straight there. I'm gonna forward this to you, Brad. Or actually, let me just do that. Copy. Let me see if this new link will work, guys. I'm gonna get you a QR code for it real quick.
What's the login, IronSWUG, that line?
No capitals on IronSWUG.
What number am I? Even
12. Okay. Let's try this one. Try this. Yeah, try and rescan this one. He sent me a new link.
Cancel?
Yeah, cancel that.
So
And scroll down.
I think I'm logged in, right?
Yeah, it might be. Is there a login right there? No.
Not,
So it's already got you logged in. So I think once you guys scan this, you're gonna be good. Because once he scanned it, he didn't even have to log in. I bet where you're already logged in on the other one, once you scan this, it's gonna take you to the tenant because you're already logged in already. There he goes.
I think once you hit the,
No, that's the scan it. There he goes. Is that working for you guys?
Yep.
Awesome.
I mean, something that worked.
that work?
I
Yeah.
have my account.
Anybody else need to scan?
I'll show you this after it was.
Okay. Anybody else need to scan? Good? Okay. Thank you, Daniel. That one works, I think.
Yep, it did. I put it in the chat to work.
Awesome. Oh, one more.
And Mercy
Trying to
with
access
this.
it in the background.
Again. Let me know when you're ready to play. I can just hit your video.
Okay. So,
Play.
yeah, hit play just till we get the login or get the thing. So guys, watch here. Oh, no, go back up. And then hit play. Then we can skip through just the first little part of it. See. About right there. Okay, so notice up here in this top corner, you have your mouse wheel, it's your swim.
Going forward, I'm trying to.
Yeah, don't use the arrows. You got to use the mouse. There you go. Okay, so right up here in the corner, you're going to see your swim. This is going to get you to your dialog. We're going to click on XDesign right here. Go ahead and pause that real quick. Yeah, go ahead and hit my first dashboard. Sorry, I didn't think you guys was going to be there. And then right here is your swim menu at the top. Yeah, hit that first, my first dashboard real quick. And then we'll click up here on our swim menu. Then we'll click XDesign. Once we click XDesign, then we'll click New Part.
So I did click on my first, but now I have like multiple screens or, oh,
Oh, there you go. Okay.
my first dashboard.
No, don't do that one right here. That was the other one. Sorry. XDesign. So scroll down. Mine's at the top just because I saved it up there. XDesign right there. So once you click XDesign, do New Part. And then I named my part, play it for about a couple seconds. I named my part IronSWUG Bell. Right? So we'll see it kind of type through that. And then location, I put it in the IronSWUG folder, put it in whatever location you can. Matt might be able to help me with the bookmark thing. I created a bookmark, IronSWUG bookmark or bell. Do you know if they'll be able to access that? Probably not, because it's on a different tenant, huh? It's a different tenant, yeah. Different tenant. But I didn't know if the bookmarks might link. It's all good. Okay, so if you don't have that, that's fine. You can create the bookmark like I did and just throw it in there. See, I actually went down, I created a bookmark and put IronSWUG bell. Go ahead and pause it right there for a minute, please, Brad. Or if you want to let it play through that portion of the loading part. Then it's going to load into a screen. Yep, looks good. Looking good. You guys are on the right track. Perfect.
I can click on dashboard.
Right, actually right here. And then go down to XDesign. I'm glad we got you here to help. I was hoping we'd have a couple people floating around to help. Looking good?
Or just creating new.
You're good right there.
Okay.
Perfect. Looking good, looking good. Got names going in, looking good. Okay, we got one more name going in. We can go ahead and play just a little bit past this. I'll let you know when to pause again. Okay, so this is our interface. Back up, right here. All right. So this is our interface. Back up just a little bit more. Yeah, this is our interface. So this right here, guys, on the right-hand side, this is those touch controls I was telling you about. You can find them down here in your menu at the bottom. Consider this kind of like your command manager for SolidWorks. It's where all your functionality is going to be. But this is those touch controls that pop up when you have them set on, or if it understands you're on a mobile device, it'll automatically pop those up for you. The first thing we're going to do is throw in a sketch. We'll play that for just a second. We're going to click this plane right here, this primary first plane, the YZ plane. We're going to start drawing a sketch. Now, there's a couple ways to do a sketch. What I like that's kind of cool is this little feature down here, and this is what I try first, right? If this doesn't work for you, you don't want to try that, that's fine. We can do it a different way. But this is kind of like a freehand draw, right? So back up just one second. I want to re-show that freehand draw portion. So when I get ready, I click it, and you'll notice I click down here with my finger. I shift this over a little bit right before I do that. And I click it, and watch how this freehand works. See how I just drew it up? Man, that's horrible. I'm surprised it even made that straight line. But when I freehand drew that, all I did was a straight line up, and I kind of arced it over a little bit, and it gave me a line with an arc, right? And so that's the first one we want to make in our first sketch. The next one we're going to do is we're going to square this off. Now watch how I did it this time. I did it. It was not much worse than the other one. Look how bad that made that line. So sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Pause for 1 second, please, Brad. They also have another application or app on the platform too. It's called the whiteboard. And the whiteboard's cool because you can just go in there and throw notes, just similar to a whiteboard you see in Teams or whatever you have that you're using, stuff like that. But what's cool about the whiteboard on the platform, when we did a presentation, was it 2 years ago at the SO Systems headquarters? When we did that presentation, we did one on a whiteboard. Brad and I was kind of doing a combined presentation, and I went in and drew this fairing. We was doing a motorcycle modeling mayhem thing. I drew this fairing, just sketched it out by hand with my hand. And when I made like an oval for the speaker cutout, it was a horrible oval, and it still understood it as an oval and stuck it in there. So it's pretty cool to conceptualize things on with that whiteboard. But here I go and I click, and when I tap here, it automatically understands that needs to go there, I think. There's one place it doesn't. It clicks there. I kind of drag it up and pull it down so I can kind of auto-align it. Notice it's pulling in and saying, hey, this is going to be a horizontal relationship here. And so it's going to input that horizontal relationship, very similar to what SolidWorks does with its assumed relationships as well. Okay. But I didn't quite assume that very well. Look at that line. It's a little off kilter a little bit. That's fine. I just go in and add that vertical relationship next. Okay, let's see how everybody's doing.
My connection was lost. But
Oh, okay. Looking. And so if that drawing thing that I was talking about didn't pan out just right for you, that's fine. You could easily come in here and hit this line command. That's what I went back and did this, and I did a line command from here to here. And then if you do the arc command, or just like in SolidWorks, when you take the end of the line back to the point and come back out, it'll automatically create that arc for you. That's a SolidWorks feature, still the same here. And then you could draw it out and get your arc there. Then we square this off. Yep, go ahead. Notice I went back in here and I added the horizontal was there, but I had to go back and add the vertical there. I'm gonna check it. I'm doing, now hold on, pause right quick. So here I have selected the multi-selection button. Okay, that multi-selection button is this button right here. And that's because what I want to do now is I want to make sure that I am fully defined. I want my sketch to be fully defined, so I need to tie it to the origin somehow. My rule of thumb, and you'll see this in other presentations throughout the week, is that making your part or your design symmetrical about the planes is going to make for a much better design practice overall, whether that be for mating, changing different features, all that different stuff, right? And so what I'm doing is I'm doing a multi-select. I select this line, and I'm going to select the origin. When I select the origin, then I'm going to mate those. Let's go ahead and play that. So there, click it. Well, that's coming in a second. I dimension that. That's going to be 1.25 on that primary line that we first drew. You can, so pause real quick. If you can do one of two things, right? You can go down here in your command manager or where your features are here, and forgive me for not knowing all the names in XDesign just yet, as it's fairly new, but this is going to be 0.25. You can click the line, very similar to what has been done in SolidWorks 24, where you can just click that line and the dimension pops for you. You just click the dimension. So it's dimension preview. Thank you, Brett. And so that's the same in XDesign. They're doing it there. There's also a little dimension function in your tools as well that you can use. Yep. So that's going to be 0.1 or 1.25 here. We're going to do a radius of 1. And here's where I'm multi-selecting the origin and the line, and I say midpoint. So now we're fully defined there. Next thing I'm going to do is do a revolve. So I select revolve, and now pause for 1 second. This is the only thing that can be a little cumbersome, and I'm noticing that, especially with your guys' phone. I'm not going to lie, I may have cheated just a little bit. My phone unfolds and gets a little bit bigger. Okay, so I've got a little more real estate on my phone than you guys probably do. So I cheated a little. Either way, this box will pop up. It can get a little cumbersome in your way. You can move that box out of the way, and if you drag it all the way over here, you can actually dock that as well. Skip bookmark? Okay. Thank you, Daniel. All right, and then so what we're doing is hitting revolve. We're going to go in here. We want to select the revolve axis. Right, when we select that revolve axis, we're going to pick our line that was on the origin there. Going to revolve it around for us. And leave it pause just for a second, Brad.
Yeah.
Looking good. That looks pretty cool. You do a lot of X-shaped design?
I've done a little bit, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We did a fairing a couple years ago in it. A fairing? Yeah. That was for our presentation we did. All right, so from there, go ahead, Brad, if you don't mind.
What does
Yeah.
undo? Because I keep on drawing and then I accidentally hit this X, which deletes like the entire sketch. Yeah. So how do you?
So
say okay. So say I draw a line here.
So when you click your first point in XDesign, it's going to place the line, and then it'll leave the other one kind of dangling. You can draw out and get that line to follow you from the first point, but once that first point's made, just clicking to the next point and letting go. And you was asking about?
I just want to delete this line.
Okay, so you can click that line. Oh, hold on. You got to unselect this, and then that should be good. Oh, good point. Thank you for showing me that. So if you are selected on something, you have to unselect that feature in order to just pick or do anything. So if, see how you got line selected? So if you select that line one more time, that'll turn that off, and then you can select and delete. So yeah, if you have a feature or a function selected, like per se a line, right, and you're drawing that line out, once you click it, if you want to do something else like select or do anything else, you need to unselect that feature you have selected. So it's like a toggle. You toggle it on, say I'm doing this for a little bit, and then once you're done, you can toggle it off, say I need to do something different. Okay? Yeah. All right, so we picked that, we rotated it around. Did the revolve. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna shell it. So in order to shell it, now, go ahead and pause that real quick. This is not playing nice today, is it?
Nope, it is not.
So while he's getting us back to that point in the slide, so I'm going to shell. Now you can do a revolve and do a thin wall, which kind of works to where we're getting ready to go. The only problem with the thin wall, unless anybody knows different, you can't remove the face. So it's basically going to leave just a hollow entity at this point versus what we're doing, we want to remove the bottom face. So back when we did that revolve, we did it at 0.0625. So we did a 16th inch thick wall when we did the shell, and we removed the bottom. Okay. Once we remove the bottom, then we're going to go ahead and click it. Now there's a button up here. When you click this button, you can hit ISO and get to that. We click the front face, and now what we're going to do is just add a couple of sketches, and this is to try and get us to the next point in the features. We're going to add a segmented line, and there's a reason for that here in a minute. It's basically to help us. I mean, we could have added a point on the line, I guess, too, but doing a segmented line, we can actually use it to help locate this line on the arc of the model. The top part of that segment is going to be 3/4. The bottom part of that segment is going to be 1/4 of an inch. Now, notice this is where I didn't connect. I thought I connected them and I didn't. So what I do is I just drug it down out of the way, did a multi-select, selected the 2 points, and then connected those. You can go for just a little bit. All right, go ahead and pause just for a minute. Give everybody just a minute. Anybody have any other questions up to this point?
I don't know how to find
Got something pulled up here, huh?
it. Go back.
I don't know what that is. Is that from the browser or from your phone?
No, from the browser,
Is that an X button at the top? Right there? What is that button? I can't see it. The trash.
Trying to zoom in, zoom out,
Mm-hmm.
and that's. Go back maybe, done. Go
Yeah,
back,
try back.
Stop.
Yeah, it's not doing anything, is it?
It was there in the background.
Yeah.
Drag and drop your content anywhere.
Oh, I
Start
think you
again.
went into a.
Notifications,
So you're there. Okay, let's close that.
restore.
We can try and restore. Nothing. And if you didn't save it, it's not going to come up. So
Action, I believe.
did you save in this part of it though?
Not this advanced, but like just the
Okay.
section. Yes. Not. I can start it again.
Okay. At this point, I haven't showed this yet in the video, but if you got to a certain point and you go to the tab that's all the way to the left, you can select that and hit save. Mm-hmm. And hit save. That's one thing, and maybe it's in there, but you got to hit save or it will not save it, of course, even if you created it or autosave or whatever. All right, let's go ahead and play. So now we're going to take this line and we're going to slide it down into the model just a little bit. So we're going to pick some points. I want to take that line and I want to make sure it's aligned with that plane there in the middle. So I align that, and then I'm going to take the next one. I'm going to take that point from the segment and attach it to the arc. That way I have that 1/4 inch sticking through, and and the 3/4 sticking up. Okay? Yep,
Pause.
it's fine. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add a plane. Go ahead and pause. And what I've done is that when I add that plane from down at the bottom, in your features, you gotta go to your features to get to it, right? And then add your plane here. When you hit add, just grab your main horizontal plane because we want it parallel to that. And this one's gonna be kind of important. We wanna use the cursor button this time. And the reason being, and this is going back to what we was talking about a minute ago, when you're using your fingers, if you're like me, I got big fat fingers, so I'll be clicking everything but what I want. But using that cursor, we can use it and fine tune and pick this point that's right there. So we'll watch that. But using that cursor feature is what's going to help us. See, that's me not using the cursor feature. I picked the whole dome of the thing. And I was like, okay, let's try that again. Let's do the cursor. Once I did that, got the cursor in there. And select it. Now you see my plane sitting right at the top of that dome. All right, next thing we're going to do is going to throw some sketches in there for those planes. Here's where I'm saving. Yep, so come back here, hit that save button. That way it saves all your stuff. You don't lose it if you get backed out or something. We're going to select that plane and we're going to draw a circle on that plane. Just do a center circle or however you want to do it. Click it. That circle is going to be, I think, 1/4 inch. No, sorry, 1/8 inch. We're going to do an 1/8 inch on that circle. And again, here we're just creating some different sketches for some sweeps later on. All right, select that right plane. We're going to throw another circle on it. When we're coming in here, we're going to select it and put it right here on this. And you can see, I think this is the one I missed that too, using my fat finger or whatever. Kind of came off. That's fine. We're going to make the diameter of that one 1/8 inch as well. Now here's where you have to go in and make sure that you don't do what we was just talking about, right? That extra circle came from me not turning that function off. So if you don't trigger or toggle the function on and off, you'll end up putting a bunch of different circles or lines or whatever on. Then we're going to multi-select the point here, use that cursor to select that point, and then we'll connect those so we get it online. That was another 1/8 inch circle. Again, that little box, you click that and it comes out, that puts you isometric. We've got one more circle to do. That's going to be on the front plane. And this one's going to be a little bit bigger. Go 1/2 inch on that circle. It's going to slide over kind of in that same general area on another point again. There's that line. I use this line as a reference, right? And so I put it in here and go to the top of the quadrant. I come over, I have to deselect everything again, right? There, me not deselecting and putting another line in there. Once I deselect, I can select it, change it to a construction line. Still have the same flyout menu functionality like we have in SolidWorks. Now I can select that, do my multi-point select here in just a second because I'm not doing it here. I didn't do a multi-point select, so it didn't take. So, oh, duh, got to go hit multi-point select, right? Even myself. Got it. Click that point, and that point's going to go over there and connect to the last point on that 2-segment line we created. So at the bottom of that 2-segment line, we connect the top of the circle to it. Okay? So there, we got 3 circles we basically did a sketch on, one on the top on that plane we created, one on the right plane, that's an 1/8 inch, and then one on the front plane that is a 1/2 inch. And now we're going to go in and do some sweeps. Just going to kind of sweep through this stuff and create them. We're going to start with this main line here and click it. So we're going to say that's our path. And the circle down below is going to be our profile, not the dome. Again, my fat finger, click the dome. Telling you, the cursor is the way to go for me. Of course, that sweeps it. That gives us our line there. We're going to do the same for the other ones as well. Make sure we have them combining when we do it, or merging. All right. There we go. And I'm going to create another one. I think I've got them all now. That's it. So we've got the 3 sweeps. You're going to pause right there for a minute, Brad. We got the sweep that we did here with that profile and path. Then we have the interior. Play a little bit more. It might turn upside down. So yeah, right there. Pause. And then so you see how that came down, and then this one was created here. So that's from those 2 circles and paths that we made. Okay. And the reason we have to rotate this up is because we're going to start doing some stuff on the inside here. We're going to do an axis. And we're going to pick the interior donut per se, right? Because we want the center of that donut for the axis, or axes. And that's because what we're going to do next, I'm trying not to reveal exactly what this is. Some people might know, even when we tell you, you may not know. So I'm going to pick that plane. And what I'm doing here, pause for just a second, Brad. All right, so what I'm doing here is I pick this plane. After I've got the axes, of course, I put the axes in on the donut. I'm going to pick this plane, then I'm going to pick the axes. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm saying I want this kind of plane, and maybe parallel, right? But I want to take this plane and I want to move it up and have another one just like it on this axis that I created. But I want it to be 20 degrees. So I'm setting that plane at 20 degrees. Next thing I'm going to do is go in and offset that plane just a little bit, because that put it at the center of my axes. And this is all going to make sense here in just a minute. But that put it at the center of my axes. I really want it to drop down from the center of the axes a little bit, and I probably could have just done an offset with that. But I just created a new plane. And I dropped it down, I think, yeah, 3/16 of an inch, 0.1875. And once we drop that down, and you can toggle it back and forth. Notice I'm toggling back and forth just to see, because it's so small of a dimension, just making sure it's going the right direction for me. And then once I toggle that down, we're good. But I'm going to go to that plane next, because I'm going to put a sketch relationship on there, because the next feature that I want to create is going to be a circular pattern, and I need something to revolve that around. So I'm going to use another sketch line on that plane, the last plane we created. So in the bottom of your feature tree, pick that plane and just do a sketch. And we're going to draw a line kind of diagonally across that little plane that we created. Now this one, I know probably somebody's going to fuss at me out there, because I did not fully define this line.
Boo.
I know Toby Snars is going to be out there just hating on me, saying fully defined every time. If you haven't heard that song, go listen to it. It's a good earworm. Fully defined every time. But I just went ahead and got out of it. I could have defined it real quick and put it in there, but it's really arbitrary. It doesn't matter too much as long as you have it going diagonally across that plane. And then once we do that, we're going to come forward and do the circular pattern. Yeah, you can call Toby on me. Now we're looking for our features. And the features we want in the pattern are going to be the loop, basically those sweeps. The sweeps that we created, that's what we're wanting to do the circular pattern on. And we'll do it, we'll pick that sketch, the last sketch that we created on that new plane. We only want 2 of them. Let's go ahead and pick that. Change the angle and the number of instances to 180 degrees and 2 instances. You gotta kick it and wake it up because it's still showing 3. Scrolling down, actually, can you back that up just 1 second? Okay, so watch when I scroll down here, because you got to make sure you have this stuff selected right or it won't work. not geometry pattern. It actually has to be a feature pattern, not a geometry pattern. Anybody know the difference between feature and geometry patterns? You want to pause that real quick, Brad? Okay. Feature and geometry patterns. Anybody use patterns in SolidWorks? Yeah.
I mean, for me, occasional things like.
Okay.
Yeah, or I'll use the geometry pattern when the feature pattern doesn't work.
Yeah, or vice versa, right? And this one, the geometry pattern doesn't work, right? So I use the feature pattern. Great reason, right? It doesn't work. We'll just use the other one. I like that idea. Okay, so geometry pattern is let's start with feature patterns. The feature pattern is going to basically say, okay, I've got all this data that created that feature, and now I want to apply that to all these other pieces that I just patterned out there. So it's having to calculate for every one of those instances. Feature and said, I need this detail, this level of detail for each one of these. The geometry pattern saying, oh, you did this over here. Do you really need that same data across the board, or can I just give you a pretty picture that's going to be right?
Turning your
That's
leg
kind of
up.
what the geometry pattern is. It's basically just giving you a graphical representation of what it is, more than just all the full-blown dimensions and everything. Now, the difference in that is, if you are using SolidWorks, and XDesign is probably the same way, but if you're using SolidWorks and you're doing something that has, say, a gazillion patterns, maybe you're doing some kind of mesh and you got to do a lot of cutouts in it, right? And you're patterning that stuff out, geometry pattern all day. If you use a feature pattern, it's going to take probably, we've done what, 10x before, Brad? When we've tested it, we've seen a 10x, huh?
I said, no, it usually just crashes.
It's just crashing. Yeah, it just freezes for a while. I go get a cup of coffee. I come back. It's still there. I kick it and it dies. Yeah, you're right. That's about how it works. So geometry pattern is really going to help. And I've seen up to 10x times of efficiency gain in the model.
Like I have a honeycomb, I design it as a pattern.
Mhm.
As a geometry, it will have the same features that if I
Yeah.
mold the tool, it will have the same.
Yep, and it'll be a lot. The model will be a lot lighter in your resources as well. Yeah, yeah. I've got some presentations we've done on it, and you can see night and day difference between geometry and feature. Now, if it's something where you really have to have that level of detail and it's going to cause issues, by all means do it. But I've not seen any repercussions between doing it either way, other than the efficiency gains. Yep,
Saving component.
saving the component.
But if it's not like a purely symmetrical component and you're creating an array, sometimes it doesn't work or something. I feel like I've had times where
The geometry pattern.
doesn't work.
Yeah, there's some instances where SolidWorks is basically telling you, hey, I've got to have that data to recreate this.
It's like projecting onto a different body, for example, or
Yeah.
surface.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. By all means, if I can select geometry pattern and it works, that's where I'm going to go on my patterns. But yeah, you're right. There are instances where SolidWorks is like, I can't just do it on geometry alone. I'm going to have to have all that data too. Yep. All right. So I think we have reached the end, just kind of shifting it around, giving you a final look at it. I know that's a lot to take in. It was more of just getting your hands in there and using that software and just seeing what it looks like. It can be a little cumbersome on your mobile phone. I just kind of wanted to see how it would work. I know it was a lot. It was drinking from a fire hose, right? I know that. I know it was. But it gave you a little insight, just a little fun game to kind of kick the week off. Let me jump back in here and I'll finish out the presentation and we can turn this over to Mr. Hank Meador.
Yep.
All right. So I always like to wrap my presentations up with two things. A little note card of if I was you and you was me, and I was out there, what would I kind of write down for my notes? And then the next one's going to be my call to action that I usually like to put out there too. So for the first note, I'm going to say design anytime, anywhere. That's what, if I wrote something down, would be that I could design anytime, anywhere. There's, lots of hardware out there that's needed to use traditional methods. With this, there's not. So it works very well. It's got cloud-based cloud-powered flexibility. Kind of fun to use with the touch. Gives you a new tool to play around with and learn and not let defeat you, right? Because it is easy to use, but it does take a little practice. And design while lounging. To be lounging somewhere and design. I put a couple of thoughts when I was putting this together too. Wouldn't it be something that if you was in the airport and your boss said, hey, why is this messed up? We need a little bracket to fix it, right? And you're sitting in the airport and you have to pull out your big laptop and maybe another screen or something else to try and design this out and get it done because your boss is hollering at you, as you're getting on the plane, when you can just pull your phone out and do it real quick. Or better yet, Delta offers free wireless for its customers. Why not use that and design on the plane on your trip? I mean, most people are sleeping or watching a movie anyway, right? So they give you something kind of fun and play around with as well. So consider that. So it's a good way just to do something real quick and knock it out because whatever's in here is pretty much compatible with SolidWorks and SolidWorks Connect. There's nothing in there, nothing in the TV. Whatever's in there is from XDesign, SHIfT, and a lot of those other features. You can push and pull from SolidWorks back and forth. Some of the feature tree data is a little bit different, so you got to work with that. But we've done it. That one we did XShape, we did the fairing, and we pushed and pulled it from SolidWorks to visualize to everything else, and it worked great. So, all right. So call to action: explore new features. Now, where is my? Kind of curious where my stuff went here.
It's just under duplicate screen. I just duplicated it all.
You got rid of my notes?
Yeah, because they kept
Homie.
going away.
All right, let's try. I don't know where the.
Chauffeur's interview. If you want to get your notes.
You see it? There it is.
That's
Okay.
going to show everybody on Zoom. Yep, see?
Go right there. That's where it's supposed to be. All righty, here we go.
For XDesign, can you save it as a stat for STL?
You can. What presenter?
Yep. Okay.
Now where did that go?
I don't know.
So my screen's messed up. That's what happened.
Yep, so I just duplicated it.
I see what happened now.
I'm going to get mine going. There you go. I got a 5-minute timer for to get done.
All right, sorry about that, guys. All right. So yeah, explore new features. Give them new insight, new awareness. I mean, being able to see all these different features. If we pigeonhole ourselves into using the same things all the time, then we're doing ourselves a disservice, right? I always like to use water as a good reference because water, when it's just sitting in a puddle, not doing anything and just doing its own thing, it becomes deadly, right? You're not going to go up and drink a puddle of water. Now, if water's flowing freely, you got rapids in it, you're up in the mountains and it's good fresh water, then it's going to be a lot better. And so I like to use that analogy with water because as long as you're like the moving water and continue moving, continue keeping your eyes focused on everything else, that can help benefit you in your job, even things outside the box. I would encourage you guys to watch. You have to check out our IronSWUG.com, but I have a presentation later on about using stuff like Stream Deck and Touch Portal. It's things that aren't even related to design. They're actually used for creator content stuff, right? But you can pull that kind of stuff in here. So always be exploring new features. Even if they don't apply to design, they can be used outside the box to facilitate what you want. So explore new features. And it'll help you unlock your creativity because once you find a new tool, like this gentleman right here, I was overlooking, he's kind of messing around with XShape in between the instructions or whatever, and he's designing something pretty cool, right? And I looked at him like, so you mess with that? He's like, yeah, just a little bit. But man, think of the creativity you can do once you unlock new features, you see new things, and how much more you can do. You're not limited to just the tools you have. And make the time. If not now, when? Everybody knows. I've been a procrastinator on things in my life in the past, but I've always found that if I procrastinate, sometimes they never get done, right? And so if not now, when? Make the time for it. And Eleanor Roosevelt said, do one thing every day that scares you. Do one thing every day that scares you, right? If that's looking at XDesign or looking at XShape or trying a new tool out, do it. Just do it and get through it because what you'll find is that once you get through it, it wasn't that bad and you'll learn from it. And then Thomas Jefferson also said, if you want something you have never had, you must be willing to do something you have never done. Right? And so I'll leave you with those two quotes from two very powerful people and ask if you have any questions at this time. Awesome. Sounds good.
All right, make sure you can see me on the camera here. We're good to go. All right,
Give us a thumbs up if you can see Brad's mug.
please don't. That's a bad thing. All right. So before we get started on the next presentation, I'm going to at least talk about our sponsors because they're the ones that make it all happen. We have a sponsor page here. Big shout out to Altec. That's Adam and I's employer. They not only allow us to do this, but they actually entertain our crazy ideas and say, go for it. You know, it's a great thing for us as a company. Go for it. The SOLIDWORKS User Group Network, I see Dan Wagner in the chat over there.
Big shout out.
Big shout out to him. And Matthew Hall.
And Jason with us and also Jose.
And Jose, yep. HP is our platinum sponsor this year. Not only did they step up and give us some Z2s to try out here in a little bit, because everybody's going to be able to put their hands on those things and try them out a little bit.
And whoever wins that Model Mania Challenge, we're going to have a gift for you for the winner.
Yep. And they've also stepped up and we're going to be giving away a ZBook laptop at the end of this week. When you fill out the survey at the end of the presentations, we will have, there'll be a chance to win an actual ZBook.
And just as a side note, because of shipping requirements and all that stuff, it's for US based on.
Yes, US based. Bananas.ai stepped in last minute to sponsor us as well. They're an engineering change management add-in for SOLIDWORKS. So they are one of our sponsors as well. On our website, these are all clickable links. So please go click on them, go look at their stuff, kind of go check it out.
IronSWUG.com.
IronSWUG.com. And 3D Connection, they're also raffling, or if you fill out the survey at the end, a Space Mouse Enterprise Kit 2. So it's got the Space Mouse Enterprise. It's got the Space actual mouse, CAD mouse, and a mouse pad to go with it. And then big thank you to all the VARs that make this happen. So Go Engineer, we got to Go Engineer. A gentleman here, Hawkridge Systems, and Trimec for stepping up and sending us things to give away, people to come out and hang, all that stuff.
Money
So,
to be here.
money to be here, that's right. You know, and yeah, big shout out to all of them. So we're good. And then, you know, here's our map itself. This is the official start to our crazy journey this week. And we will be traveling roughly 1,200 miles this week on motorcycles. We'll be doing 5 stops, and you can live stream it here. So when you are, when you go home tomorrow night, if you figure, hey, I haven't had enough of listening to these idiots talk, let's watch them again tomorrow. So we'll go to the watch online thing here. You can fill out a little form down here. When you fill out that form, that's going to give me an email address to send to you that says, hey, we're going to go live in hour, 30 minutes, whatever. So I will send that email out and make sure that everybody knows we're getting ready to go live. So you'll be able to see it now.
This form, it just goes, the information on this form only goes to Brad and myself, so we can email you and remind you.
Yeah, this doesn't go to anything else. This is just for us to notify the people who are watching online, I want to watch online. So we're going to hit that and we're going to close this out and we're going to get into our presentation. So, and I know I don't want presenter mode. I don't like presenter mode. I'm an old fart. I don't like presenter mode.
I'm an old part, and that's why I need to.
Oh, shut up. All right. So we'll get started here. We're going to call it SolidWorks Shifts. I'm going to do an entire presentation on the Shift button and how you can use it in SolidWorks. I've also named it Holy Shift. Because
Holy Shift.
Because I started playing around, and you know, SolidWorks puts in these little Easter eggs of things that they can do. And while it's in the help desk and in the help documents, you know, it's not talked about by a lot of people. So I figured it's time to do an entire presentation just on one key on the keyboard. So sit back and be ready to have your mind blown, because I had no idea half this stuff existed. And one of the reasons why I do these crazy presentations is because it helps me learn new things about the software and helps me be a better user as I create the presentations. So first, a little about me. My name's Brad Meador. Everybody calls me Tank. First and foremost, best job ever, husband and dad. I'm a project designer at Altec Industries. I'm also the SOLIDWORKS user group leader for Roanoke, Virginia, also known as the Star City SWUG. I'm also the committee lead for the Mid-Atlantic States, a SOLIDWORKS champion. I have a CSWE. I am also a live event producer, and because I don't have enough hobbies or jobs, or I don't like sleep enough, I'm also a Virginia certified pyrotechnician. So I do fireworks for local shows, local towns and stuff. In fact, when I get back next week, I'll be blowing things up and getting paid for it. So it's going to be a fun thing. We're going to go from there. So we're going to touch on some things. We're going to start with sketches because they're the building blocks of your parts. Then we're going to go to parts, then assemblies, and then drawing. We're going to step through them all because, not everybody just does one specific thing inside of SOLIDWORKS. Everybody kind of is the jack of all trades. So we're going to start with sketches, because a good sketch is a building block of a good part, and so on and so forth, because we want to make sure we have good building blocks before we start building our parts. So when you grab parts inside of a sketch, got to click and drag, right? I don't want to move the whole thing, and I don't want to change the shape. I just want to move it. Well, you hold the Shift key, grab the point you want. If it's not fully defined, it'll allow you to move it without having to change the shape. So if you're just playing around, learning things as you go, or trying different things, notice how when I move this mouse around, it's changing the shape. I don't want that. You hold the Shift key, we can do it. So we'll jump over to SOLIDWORKS here to show you, because everybody is always tired of PowerPoint. We'll go into a sketch here. We'll start a new part. Go into a sketch, and we're going to show you everything the Shift button can do just in the trim command. Draw some sketches, draw some lines in here. Some other tips and tricks while you're in here. Enter command will also repeat your last command. Notice how I'm drawing a line and it's keeping everything connected here. What if I don't want that? Well, if I click and hold the left mouse button, it'll let you go, and it'll keep you from having to keep that chain together. Just a little extra tips and tricks in here. I want to go find my trim command, hit the S key. I have mine customizable. We have the typical trim command. We can come back, power trim. We can pick trim the closest, that kind of thing. But we're going to cut some things off here. What if I want to extend this one out just a tad? Well, I don't want to exit my trim command. Hold the Shift key, grab the end of your line, and pull straight up. It allows you to extend where you want without having to exit the command and go back in and modify your sketch. Well, we're in here. We're going to cut some things out. Well, you hold the Shift key and do your power trim. It becomes a power extend. So you just grab and drag, and it's going to start extending things for you. Let go of the Shift key. You can go back and still do your regular power trim. Hold the Shift key down. Now you've got power extend. So 2 instances just in the one command where the Shift key can help you out. Okay, We'll go back into SolidWorks. Delete all these here. Use our mouse gestures here. While we're in here, how many people use mouse gestures? Okay. Sometimes I'm going to encourage you to try, use it a little bit more. Start simple, because you can do 2, 4, I think 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 8, and 12. Start simple. Do 2 and go from there and add more to it. We'll throw some dimensions in here. Hold the shift key over top of the center line. Go to your dimension. Automatically assumes you're going to do something in revolve mode, and it's going to tell the dimension that this is going to go across the center line. So now you're modeling with your design intent to say, I'm going to revolve around this thing. I can keep going. But if I don't, we'll just kind of cancel that out. We'll do that again, kind of show how quick that was. Go to our dimension, select our dimension here. We know I've already set it at 60, so we can set it at 30 there, or if I hit the shift button, it's going to tell it, I want a full width dimension, not just a half across the center line. So we're just trying to add and play around, learn things as we go. Another big one we use a lot, dimensioning some dimensioning slots, arcs, that kind of thing. We're going to create we're going to create a slot feature here, or just a sketch. Throw a dimension in. What happens when I click the other one? It's going to automatically assume I want center to center, correct? Well, maybe that's not my design intent. Maybe my design intent is I want it edge to edge. Well, to do that, normally, center to center, find the dimension you want, go to your leaders here, click the max to max, get the same dimension end to end, correct? You can do it faster. We'll delete that back out. My timer's going on. There we go. Hold the shift key, click your outside radius, hold the shift key again, click your outside radius. Instead of going in and finding 4, 5, 6 clicks to get what you need, you hold your shift key, click the 2 dimensions. Now you've got your intended design, your design intent on this slot. So I know now my machine's going to cut this thing at 709, or well, I don't like that, so we're going to come in here and say 7.
I fell in love with that shift feature when I learned it.
Yes. It's mind-blowing. Just holding one key down can change the way a certain command will behave. Things that you didn't, assume, and you're used to click, 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 and spending all this time moving your mouse around. One button can help you out. So now that we've got our sketches created, we're going to go to our parts here. And we're going to the feature tree. Now, I'm sure everybody knows that if you click a top item and a bottom item and hit select inside of Windows, it'll select everything in between those. That functions the same as well in SolidWorks pretty well. But it also does things with your arrows. So I'm rotating things around. I'm trying to show something to a customer. I don't want to touch the mouse because it's a little too jerky or too sensitive, or he's got some things he wants to look at specifically. Well, hold the shift key left or right, and it's going to do it 90 degrees rather than the predetermined spin box increment that you have set in your company default. Currently, I think mine is set at 15 degrees, but I don't want that. Hold the shift key. I can rotate it around 90 either way. The shift and the arrow keys. Shift and the arrow keys. So whatever arrow key you go, it'll go 90 degrees that direction. So that's one of the things that when we started navigating around parts, this looks good and all, but, I'm trying to find an exact angle I want. I can kind of play around with it, add what I need, create some views. If you're looking at creating specific views, you can do that as well. Use it as a view command. It's a good question. All right. So, all right, zoom in and out. So Z, zoom out, Shift Z, zoom in. I'm not a big fan of using keyboard for commands. As far as, moving parts around, I use, my space mouse, which I didn't cut on, or it's dead. There it goes. To do the command. But if I don't have one and I want to navigate parts around inside my feature tree without using the mouse, or if I'm working on some things, Z zoom out, Shift Z, zoom in. So also, same thing, zoom in and out on your mouse wheel. Shift, zoom in and out, it's faster. So if you're working on little bitty parts and you want to get into a really tight nook and cranny, hit the Shift key. The zoom increments increase. I think it's called quick zoom or fast zoom. Or if you're working on some things that are really large and you want to zoom into a part to work on, instead of sitting here and spinning the wheel hundreds of times, use the Shift. Wrong button. Okay, zoom in and out. Have we done that? Accelerate. Actually, I went backwards here. Oh no. All right. Also, middle mouse button, or the actual push and hold the wheel on your mouse, depending on if you've got an actual 3-button mouse, like this one here, the 3D connection one's got a center button on it. Hold it down. It's your rotate, kind of pan rotate, or hold the Shift up and down, does zoom in and out as well. So if you're, again, trying different commands, trying to play with different things, finding ways to make your workflow a little bit better, Shift and middle mouse button up and down will help you zoom in and out. My apologies, I went backwards. But
PowerPoint ain't doing too good today.
I know. PowerPoint ain't doing too well. So let's see if I have that part. If not, we can make one real quick. We'll do one. Throw a pattern in here and we'll create one real fast. Shift also will help you ignore instances or add instances to pattern components, linear patterns, things like that. We're going to create a part here real fast. Throw a sketch in there, or throw a pattern in. We'll go from there. Yeah, I fully defined mine, Adam, so I don't want Kirby getting. I don't want Toby getting mad at me here. Throw some dimensions in just because I don't want to be that guy. Show bad habits. You were talking about having a mesh pattern of over and over again. This will be some actual tip that you could use. You would like. See that? Let's hide that. Poke the eyeball. Blind it. Hide all the problems you don't want to see. Unpoke the eyeball and see all your sketches. All right. So inside of our linear pattern here, we're going to select our directions we want to go. Feature the pattern. Let's add some numbers in here. Oh, got my pattern in here. Well, I don't think I'm going to actually pass something through here. I want to make sure I can edit your feature. I can do instances to skip. click the things I want, or I can come in here and select the things I don't want, and then shift, and it'll ignore the things that I don't want already selected, and it'll only pick the things that I want. But if I backwards select over it without holding the shift key, it'll bring it back. It'll toggle it on and off. You hold shift, it'll only tell it to make it go away.
Didn't know that. That's a good one.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
So now I've kind of got the space I want. I've still got my pattern there. I've ignored the things that I don't want. We can use that as a just another little button, so you're not having to sit there and click and hide everything one at a time.
Too legit to quit, right? Keep going.
It's not like we're making a macro.
No, this is all built into the software. It's good. So, got our sketches, got our parts. Now let's go to our assembly. All right. Let's unmute. Let's unmake this thing. All right. You can also do transparent faces on things. Let's see if it'll do it for me inside the mates if I have this set up correctly. I believe it is correct. Let's just save this here and bring it into the newest version. Before I get too far, how many people are using SOLIDWORKS 2025, the current one? Oh, wow. Nice. 24? Oh, awesome.
Anybody using Connected?
SOLIDWORKS connected? Okay. All right. Well, I'm in here. I'm going to create some mates. I click the face that I want. It makes it transparent, so I can see how my mates are going to go. The shift button will allow us to pick the areas inside. Actually, back up, Control Z. We're going to make this part transparent first because I'm a dum-dum and forgot that. Just so I can work and see where I'm going. But I don't necessarily want these faces in here. But notice it's allowing me to do it. I click shift, it's going to allow me to actually select the face I want, even on a transparent part. Or if I have it kind of in the way, if you're working in some areas and you want to select through parts, click your shift, it's going to allow you to actually pick those faces around inside those areas. It'll tell you to ignore and select those parts. Because typically when you're in a transparent mode, SOLIDWORKS assumes I don't want you to select inside those areas. I want to ignore that face. With the shift key, it says, okay, maybe I'll let you grab these ones that are transparent. Just a little quick tidbit if you're working on things that are really big and complicated and you want to look into something, but still use those faces as selectable features. All right. All right. Tab. Everybody knows you hold the, or I don't know, does everybody know if you hold the tab key, you can bring it back also? Come on now. Yeah, shift tab. There we go. Now it decides to work. Shift tab will bring it back. But so when you hover over something with the tab key held, it'll hide it. You hold shift tab and hover over where it belongs. Come on now.
And you found it.
And I find it. Now I made myself look like an idiot. There we go. Shift tab over it. Yes, shift tab will bring those hidden things back. But another little tip is if you hit Control Shift Tab, you want to use all three of your fingers, it'll temporarily highlight what you want to show, and you can select the thing you want to show back. So if you're working on, again, big assemblies, you've hidden a bunch of things, you're digging into something, you're like, oh, I want to show that one specific thing actually hidden. Control Shift Tab will bring it up in that kind of a bluish color and let you select the individual part you want to show again, rather than just. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. So a lot of times users will hide the things they want, isolate what they want, or vice versa.
Yeah, that actually works really well on isolate. You can combine that into isolate,
Yes.
use it inside of isolate.
Yes. And then, yeah, Control Shift Tab, it temporarily shows all the hidden items in that bluish color. I wouldn't know 100%. Is it blue?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's colorblind.
I'm red, green color deficient. So some of those things don't show up correctly, but yes.
I would like to warn everybody on the Control Shift Tab part of it. If you're in like a super large model and you try it with like isolate or something like that, it's gonna crash your computer probably, or at least it'll be one of those things like this gentleman was mentioning. I'm sitting here waiting forever, going to get a cup of coffee because it's trying to load all those and
all those information
transparency state, and so it can cause on a super large
Yeah.
model.
If you're doing, large assemblies with over 1,000 parts, be very mindful. Just giving you little tidbits here to make yourself a little bit better. And then if you want to hide certain faces while mating parts, go in here or make command. You do Shift Tab, you can actually hide those mates or hide those faces. Come on now. Shift Tab, hide the faces. Now it's not going to work on me. Alt Shift. That's it. That's it. No, Alt.
Transparent, so it might be hard to see.
Yeah, that's probably what's going on.
You got transparent, so it's hard to see.
Yep. Now. Of course, now it's going to make a liar out of me.
Shift Alt for back, Alt flip it away.
Yeah, I know, but it's just not doing it for me. SOLIDWORKS Connect is not playing nice right now. Okay. Well, I think I broke it. Murphy's Law. We'll blame Adam on it.
Got big show.
Okay. Well, we'll see what I can do. I'll just keep going so we don't go over too much time here. Copy and pasting appearances. Control C, Control V will copy parts. Control Shift C will copy an appearance inside of SOLIDWORKS and let you paste it to another part. So if you're, trying to design something with a weird purple color or blue color or carbon fiber look, you can copy and paste those between faces using Control Shift C, Control Shift V, and that allows you just to copy the appearances and not the individual parts themselves. All right, drawings. This is where I use Shift all the time. SOLIDWORKS just.
What did you do?
I'm going to make a bad dad joke and say SOLIDWORKS just shift the bed.
SOLIDWORKS just shift the bed.
Oh.
Attention to the SOLIDWORKS behind the curtain.
All right. Let me exit out of this here real quick and restart SOLIDWORKS connected. Again, Murphy's Law. Everything goes wrong when I'm in the middle of a presentation.
Oh, yep. Wait. Oh.
All right. All right. So we don't go over on time because we're getting kind of long-winded here. Let's kind of showcase some things here. I've already showed you the dimensions for sketches. Those same Shift key dimensions will allow you to do outside to outside radiuses, inside to inside radiuses on regular drawing dimensions. Shift also allows you to do things like, I want to stack these two balloons together. Hold the Shift key, drag it around. It'll allow you to stack and unstack balloons as you need. It also allows you to reorganize the balloons in order. So if you have a set of stacked balloons and you want to put in like, put them in specific order. I want my bolt first, my washer next. You want to put them in order. Your Shift key allows you to reorganize those balloons one at a time as you're putting them together. Now, go back in here. And back in here now, they got SOLIDWORKS back up. Allows you to organize stacked balloons. And this also allows you to move dimensions around between views. So I've built a dimension with I'm gonna build a dimension with a set of geometric tolerances or actual tolerances inside. So we'll just 0.5 here, we'll build it up. We know that we can copy and paste dimensions around, but I can actually grab and shift and drag it over here to this view and move. Yep.
Tell me you didn't do that. I've never seen that.
You just hold the shift key and drag the dimension from one view to another.
I've never seen that before. That's
Yeah.
pretty dope.
You can. Shift and drag. I'll do it again. Shift and drag to the other view.
That might be where the next little flaw.
Again, things I didn't know you could do with the shift key because this drawing view is getting a little cluttered. I want to move it over to another one. Hold the shift key down, grab and drag it. And move it around.
Like that.
So it's amazing when you start really digging into things as well.
This is why I love SWUG and SWUG presentations is for things like this. These little nuggets that you learn in between that you thought you knew everything. And it's like, oh, you can do that too.
And you don't even need everything. There's just always one or two little things.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. I've got a user who loves to type in all lowercase. I come from a background where you don't do that.
Yeah,
That's blasphemy.
It is blasphemy. Now, I haven't done this on this laptop because it's got let's hold on a second. FN lock. I'm not sure how we can do this. Shift, FN lock. There we go. And then we use Shift F3, forces everything to all caps. So you can select all your dimensions or all your notes that some user just doesn't like hitting the caps lock key. And Shift F3 on that note.
Does that basically just check the all caps?
Yes,
before you put that in?
it toggles this all uppercase
Okay.
function that is down here in the bottom corner. Just toggles it on. So we can do that again. Shift F3 turns it on and off.
Cool.
You can do that with tables as well. So if you're forcing revision tables, bills of material, you can force it on that way. Now, so again, I showed you, we already could do the dimensions back and forth. And of course, mind blown. I tend to find little snippets of things inside the SOLIDWORKS help documents. So test out the shift. Like Adam, I like to try to call people to try new things. So test out your shift function. Tell your coworkers about it. And then everything that's in here, I just went into the SOLIDWORKS help documents and just typed in the word shift. It was 75 pages because it tells you every little thing, including things inside of FEA and routings and things, but it allows you to go through and find that information. So if you want to learn something specific, go into the SOLIDWORKS help document, find the version you're using, and go from there. So just a little snippet here and there to try. And with that, got any extra questions? Now, before everybody packs up and leaves, we do have a little bit of a Model Mania challenge.
Real quick before you do that, can you jump to the Western North Carolina Asheville event for this?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Does SHIfT allow to measure angles? I kept trying to measure angles and stuff.
The best way I found to measure angles is to click two different faces, lines, whatever, and then the status bar. The status bar will actually tell you live right there without
Yes,
even having to measure.
on the bottom.
The bottom status bar. If you click two planes that are parallel, it'll just give you a distance. Now, if those faces or lines are not parallel, when you click those two, it'll give you an angular dimension.
So I'll show you here. You can click on this line here. Mhm.
Yeah, no, you can do the same thing. And
So we have open the part up here. So you click the face and the face here. It'll tell you down at the bottom here.
Right down at the bottom.
It'll tell you the dimension down there. That's your,
Yeah, I
your
love the
status bar.
It's one of my big pet peeves to try and get people using status bar. There's so much stuff out there. It should,
So,
as long as it's an edge, do a section view off this edge and bring it in.
oh, section view.
Bring it the other way though. Yeah, right there. And then, hit enter. Yeah, now try and click just the edges instead of the face though. Ooh,
I'm guessing it's because it's,
maybe not, because cross sections function a little different, even when you're trying to apply sketches and stuff to them. Sometimes they don't act right, like converting entities, they don't want to act right sometimes, and because it's not seeing that as a face or an edge,
It's
it's just
just a-
seeing as a pass through the,
yeah.
the model.
Last 5 years. And I guess this, because in Creo it was there, I was wondering.
I'm guessing because Creo treats it as a cut.
Mm-hmm.
Creo treats it as an actual cut of the part, I assume. I don't know. I haven't dug into that software very well. But this is just it just imaginarily splices I'd say it's a graphics only. Graphics only.
Yeah, that is a good point though, because SolidWorks does take advice and things from their customers and users. They do a top 10 every year at World where they vote on those types of tips and ideas. So you can check out that blog and submit that as maybe an idea to be able to use the edges in a cross section to understand what's going on. That'd be a good enhancement tool that you could submit.
Yep. Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. So in here, I have asked Brad to pull this up real quick. I just want to pop through the rest of the week just to give everybody an idea online and here what's going on. So this is our San Francisco, right here. So XDesign on your phone and the tips and tricks from the road with Brad, or actually you may have shifted that around, right? No pun intended. So these are probably shifted. I'm swapped out. So the next one tomorrow is going to be defeaturing my design by Brad. He'll start off the presentations, and then I'll be doing it. Did you miss it? So it's basically, if everybody doesn't know, this is 30 years of SolidWorks. This is their anniversary, right? So I'm kind of going back and looking at the history of SolidWorks from then till now, and a lot of tips and tricks along the way. And then mastering metadata is going to be another one that's going to be done, and I'm assuming
Too far.
Brad's tips and tricks will swap to that one.
Yes.
So yeah, so this one's going to come down. So you'll see tips and tricks in Fresno, California. That is on Wednesday. In Los Angeles, Brad's going to have some more tips and tricks, and then I'm going to have one called Learning from Mistakes. My mistakes primarily, and other mistakes as well, because we all know we make mistakes, especially when we first start out design. So we're going to do that. And then Las Vegas is going to be customizable control panels, and then Brad will be doing performance on SolidWorks. And again, all of this is on IronSWUG.com. Go to IronSWUG.com, that final tab, watch online, and just let us know you want to do it. And we'll send you an email about in 30 minutes to an hour before saying, hey, we're getting ready to go live, just to remind you.